How can you increase your website traffic? Internet is overwhelmed with thousands of tutorials, articles, guides, recommendations. Many of them use only standard recommendations and they don't work anymore. The main reason is that 1.7 billion websites online want to get organic traffic, but Google only ranks the best content on their top 10 that use only non-standard recommendations because there is no space for all websites online. In this video, I'll show you 25 techniques how you can increase your website traffic, and many of them non-standard recommendations. Stay tuned. What's up guys, I'm Anatoly from SEO Tools TV. Before watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. You know, SEO is extremely competitive. Today there are 1.7 billion websites online and all of them want to get organic traffic. And many of them have this traffic. And if you start from scratch, you don't have any traffic. These websites don't want to share their traffic. You know, they don't want to give their traffic because they sell, they get money, and what you need to do to use some different techniques. You can't use the same techniques because many of the techniques from famous guides, recommendations, they don't work anymore. Because if everybody uses the same techniques, how Google needs to choose which websites to rank on their top 10? Of course, you don't need to use the same techniques. You need to use new ones. And I want to share with you 25 techniques from 2 articles. I found some interesting articles online and these authors shared their techniques that work. And what I like more, because it's not the same recommendations what you can find online. And first article from Moz, yeah, it's a so famous blog, it's such famous blog, and the author of this article, Ryan Stewart, and he wrote 6 ways to get more organic traffic without ranking your website. And the first recommendations when the keywords are just too competitive. Of course, you know, when you start website, you usually try to find some keywords with high volume because you want to get a lot of traffic, but many big websites, they have this traffic and they don't want to lose it. And what they mean, you don't need to pay attention for these keywords. But he showed 2 interesting techniques how you can get traffic with these keywords. At first, don't submit content to your website, submit content to other websites. And he recommends 2 techniques. First technique, offer to sponsor their content. For example, if you know some big websites that where you can submit your sponsor post to pay the money like $200, $500, and you can submit their high quality content and promote it. Because if you submit the same content on your website, Google considers the parameter it, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And Google will not rank your website because if you have a low level of this parameter. But if we are talking about some famous websites like CNN, Forbes, I don't know, many of others, sometimes it's enough just to submit content because Google give to these websites a lot of ranking because of their level of trust, authority, and trustworthiness. And yep, what you need to do to find some websites in your niche where you can submit your sponsor post, pay money, you know, to write high quality content and promote it. And after this, you can have traffic to these websites. But on these websites, you can submit your offer bio or link to your commercial pages and stuff like this, and to sell your products. Why not? And the second tip, guest post on their site. For example, many big websites, they don't have access to submit guest post, I mean like a sponsor post, but you can submit guest post to write some high quality content to their websites, some interesting article. For example, Ryan Stewart wrote this guest post for Moz blog because it's famous blog, and it's more simple to promote this guest post than to submit the same article on your blog. For example, I started my website SEO Tools TV, and I don't have high authority, and yeah, it's a good reason if I can submit my content to other websites and to have links to my site, or for example even to my landing pages where I can sell my products. Okay, go ahead and second tip, when you can hijack brand alternative keywords. Yeah, I like that one. For example, many big brands and Ryan Stewart highlighted HubSpot. Why HubSpot? Because HubSpot has a lot of traffic in marketing, sales niche, and it's difficult to outrank this website. But many websites many customers don't want to pay a lot of money for HubSpot's service because it's expensive, and they try to find some alternative. What you need to do to write some articles where you can compare two different services, and HubSpot has a lot of competitors and it's not expensive like HubSpot. You can write this content on your website and steal their brand keywords when some people are looking for alternatives. And what we have here, many websites have the list like this. The 8 HubSpot alternatives are. Yeah, you can promote this content and steal their brand traffic. Okay, go ahead. Tactic taking advantage of store closers. Yeah, it's interesting example. And what we can see here that Starbucks decided to close all Tivano stores, and with news of Tivano shutting down, fans of the brand will inevitably search for Tivano replacements to find a new company to buy similar team from. And for example, if you know some big brand on your niche decided to quit their business or to be bankrupt, okay, why not? You can take their customers, you can take their traffic to create similar content and propose that alternative to their brand. Okay, go ahead. Tip number 3, when you want to rank for best keywords. Oh, it's difficult, because best keywords, they usually have some list of different services, products, and what you need to do, you need to reach out people, bloggers who have such content and propose them some interesting, and for example, if you have some content which are related with this list, you can ask them to add your content to their list. But what I like in this article that Ryan Stewart highlights, that you need to propose some what we can see here. You'll also want to pitch journalists for future inclusion in articles. Scan your target publication for a relevant journalist and send an opening pitch. And what you need to do to propose some advantage, to ask, okay, add my content to your list and I will give advantage for you or for your readers, for example, some discounts, some other stuff, or some gifts, if you have my content on your list. And even when readers read the list, they can see, oh, here I can get 15% discount and stuff like this. Yeah, it's interesting because many bloggers who use the same technique to promote their websites, they usually don't have advantage, but you can give them advantage to tell, it's better to use this service. Okay, go ahead. And yeah, it's the same, but it's more about software as a service. Tip number 4, when you need to spread your local footprint. And what we can see here, it's the same technique with previous one, because on that point Ryan Stewart highlights about local promotion: Miami Organic Effect, Miami Coffee Shop, Miami Juice Bar. And what you need to do, you can promote for all these 3 keywords one website, because it's it's related with content cannibalization when we have the same content on different pages. But what you can do, you can submit your content to big websites like Yelp, like Yellow Pages, and any the same, and promote their pages, and get this traffic. Why not? Yeah, it's interesting. And Ransur highlights this. Tip number 5, when you need to boost e-commerce sales. Yeah, it's interesting because you need, for example, if you sell your products on Amazon, you can promote your Amazon page, not your website, e-commerce website. And Rand Stewart highlights that he has a client, and when a client asked to promote their e-commerce website, he told, okay, it's better if we promote your Amazon page, where you can sell your products. And because in that point you can use authority of Amazon. Yeah, it's a big website. It's more simple promote Amazon page than your e-commerce page. And for example, if you have Etsy account or Amazon, it's better to promote them than your website if you don't have high authority. Okay, go down. Tip number 6, when the SERPs call for video. I like that point. I like even more because if you want to promote your video, you can do it for 24 hours. For example, Ahrefs made a study that if you want to promote your website page, only 7% of all pages on the top 10 can be in the top 10 in the first year. It means that you need to spend a lot of years to get your content on the top 10. But if you promote your video, and like we know, 55% of all searchers online have at least one video. That means and 82% of them from YouTube. That means if you record your video, you can get the top 10 on YouTube in 24 hours. And if you have the top 10 on YouTube, Google might take this video to show on their search. Yeah, that's interesting tip. I like that one. And you don't need to create a lot of content to pay for optimizing, just to get traffic from YouTube and from Google. Yeah, only in 24 hours. Okay, thanks Rand Stewart. Go ahead. And the next article, 9 actionable SEO tips to increase organic traffic. I definitely recommend you to read this article because many of these techniques standard, but explanation how you can use them differently, these techniques, on this article. And tip number 5, rank content in Google's feature snippet. If you want to achieve feature snippet, you need to rank your website on the top 10. It's important because 99% of all feature snippets from the top 10, and Google chooses the best content on the top 10 to show in the feature snippet. And what you need to do, at first step to achieve the top 10, when you have the top 10, you need to add questions and answers in your content. For example, you see, this keywords on the top 10, and what you need to do to check what people can ask, with your keyword. You can use some services like Answer the Public or Ahrefs or SEMrush or many other services, and you can find some questions from people and add these questions to your content and give them answers. And yeah, it works. But I think it's more important to pay attention if you have this top 10. And tip number 2, link reclamation. I think, yeah, it's more related for big websites when you can get backlinks back. For example, when you monitor brand mentions, and what you need to do to reach out the bloggers, websites, and ask them to make hyperlink to your website, not only mention. Yeah, it definitely works, but I think it's better to use for big websites because for small websites, I'm not sure that you can get a lot of mentions, but it depends on the business. For example, if you think that people are talking about your business, why not? Yeah, in that point you can use brand mentions because it's free. For example, you can use Google Alerts or many other websites. Many of them are free from big websites like SEMrush, Ahrefs. They have the same brand mention tools. Yep. You can submit a check if people are talking about your tool. Just reach out them and ask about hyperlink if you don't have this link. Okay, and we see the process here, how you can do it, gathering contact details, reaching out them, and even we have some example of template. And number 3, community hijacking. What I like in that tip, that the author of this article highlights 2 big communities where people are talking about some industry, and even you can submit backlink there to your website. And what you need to do to reach out these members of this community and ask them to submit links to your website. And what we can see here, first website, Lookbook, and the second website, Product Hunt. Yeah, it means for this website you can ask the members of this community to submit links to your website and even get traffic. Yep, interesting examples. Tip number 4, acquiring an existing website. For example, I remember Neil Patel bought Ubersuggest for $120,000. Yep, and today Ubersuggest gives to him a lot of traffic, and he can monetize this traffic, but he decided to have this tool free. And for example, if you have some time to check websites online, because many website owners do not have time to pay attention for all their websites, or for example they want to choose other niche, and what you can do is to buy some these websites. Many black hat techniques use this technique for purpose of links. You don't need to do it. Just find websites where you can get real traffic, and why not, you can think how you can monetize them. For example, if you see website are struggling to get sales from their content, but they have traffic and don't have sales. And if you see, for example, bought this website, you can add some call to action, some forms, or any type of monetization. Yeah, it helps. And you can read some explanation here how you can do it, by using Ahrefs. Okay, tip number 5, boost underperforming content. I like that tip, because sometimes you have some positions, you have traffic. What you need to do to increase this traffic, just to add content or make more links. For example, you can use Google Search Console to check your real positions, and if you see that you can improve your content or optimize with technical errors, or for example to have some backlinks or even eternal link, why not, you can get more. And the author of this article uses Google Search Console to find positions, and I think it helps him to know which type of content he needs to improve it, to get more results. Okay, tip number 6, competitor link analysis. I think it means that you need to use Ahrefs, SEMrush, or any other tools, Moz, and what you need to do to check their backlinks and think, can you get the same links or not? Just analyze your competitors and think how they provide their link building campaigns, and use the same tricks, techniques, if you can really get these backlinks. And what we can see here, it's I think it's a Ahrefs, it's more suitable with Ahrefs. Okay, tip number 7, 5 questions that your buyer persona is asking. Of course, you can use Quora, you can use Reddit, you can use Answer the Public, many other tools where you can find what people are talking about your industry. And what I like about Quora and Reddit, because if people can't find on Google, they go to these websites and ask questions there. It means that it's better to take part in community, to speak with other related people, members, and to find their questions and give these answers on your content, because you can't create only content by using only generic keywords, because if we are talking about some general keywords, big brands, big websites just occupied these directions. What you need to do to find questions where Google doesn't have a lot of choices, and you need to create content there. Yep, you can use Quora, Answer the Public, and I think even Reddit, you know, and Google Keyword Explorer, you can use it, and yep, and aligning questions to your content. Tip number 8, transcribe your video content. Yep, I like that point. For example, if you write some articles, you can convert them to audio or and video format. For example, in my point, I don't write articles. I just take other articles and convert them to video format, because, you know, for example, if I write article, I usually spend 1-2 weeks, you know, a lot of time to gather information, to create something unique, interesting information. But when you convert video from other articles, why not? You can get this traffic. It works, because YouTube is not like Google. For example, on Google you can't take other content and publish on your website, because it doesn't work for promotion. But if you do it on YouTube, it works, because, you know, yeah, of course I have backlinks. I have links to in my description to these articles. You can take them, but, you know, I just propose different format for people who likes more to watch than to read. Okay, tip number 9, get a column on an industry publications. Yep, you can use all top and I think the same directories. And for example, if you use all top, you can find some niche related blogs, and there you can find some opportunities. It's not like to use only Ahrefs or Google search or any other tools, just use directories. Yep, because if we are talking about all top, there are high quality content from different websites. Okay, and make a contact, make outreach. Okay, tip number 10, update and republish old content. Yeah, I like that point. That means if you write a lot and have a lot of content, what you need to do, or republish old content, or you know, or for example, even delete them because if you wrote some articles 2-3 years ago, and some information from these articles don't work anymore, and it doesn't help your readers, what you need to do, or to rewrite this content or delete it. For example, HubSpot deleted 3,000 blog posts because they don't have some valuable information anymore, and I think HubSpot has own content plan, and if it's not related with old articles, and if they see that they can't republish this content because it takes a lot of resources, perhaps they don't need this traffic anymore, or for example they want to relay this traffic with new content, yeah, in that point it's better to delete them. But if you delete, just set up 301 redirect, and in that point you can't lose your backlinks. Okay, tip number 11, run marketing campaigns. Yep, we can read some examples. Some examples of ideas for running marketing campaigns can include a joint case study, report based on original data from each brand, charitable causes, events, incentive or awards campaign, joint webinars, online courses, training. You know, I like that point, because SEO is not only backlinks and content. SEO is more broader topic today, because you need to create brand awareness. You need to work for your brand. And if you don't increase your brand recognition, it's difficult to get today positions, because Google counts how many times people search for your brand, because search branding, you know, some people can search for keywords, other people can search for brands. For example, buy Nike. Yep, it's like People can in that point try to find some sneakers or other sporting clothes, but and what you need to do to work with brand awareness, and you can use other type of content marketing like webinars, take part in events and many different points, and yeah, it works, it helps to promote your brand. Tip number 12, consolidate cannibalizing content with redirects. Okay. For example, I can explain about that point. When you have the same content on your website, sometimes it doesn't help to promote your website because Google might be confused which keywords are related for different pages. For example, first article can be like SEO 2020. Yep, how you can provide SEO. Other article can be SEO definition. Third article can be how you can provide SEO. And if this all type of content have the same keywords, Google might confuse and Google won't rank any of these keywords because they are the same. And what you need to do just to find, perhaps you can delete some posts or combine them to one post, or to rephrase it, because you can't you don't need to compete with yourself. Okay, go ahead. And tip number 13, link to influencers within your content. Okay, it's interesting. Contrary to popular belief, linking out to relevant external websites does not directly impact your search rankings. You know, one time some SEO community asked John Mueller if you link to high authority websites, it helps or not to promote your website. John Mueller replied, no, it doesn't help. But you know, people need to have true proof, you know, because many you know, if we check online content, many of information, I think they are outdated today. And what you need to do to prove it, that you have exact data or proven data, and if you link to other authority websites, some studies, you can tell your readers that they can trust your website, and it improves your level of trustworthiness. And okay, tip number 14, build a linkable asset. Okay, links are still the most important thing to have in order to rank for competitive keywords. This is even the case for huge authority sites like HubSpot. Okay, what we can see here, the average number of external links versus average organic traffic. Many studies on the internet from Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, and they show that if you have more backlinks, you have more traffic, you have more ranking. Yep, that means you need to pay attention for link building, and it's better to create links, even to earn links to your informational pages, because it's difficult to have link building only for commercial pages. And yep, yeah, some explanation, 3 steps what you can do here. We can read these steps. Step number 1, who would link to you? Before you start building some useless infographic that bears absolutely no relevance to your brand, take a moment to think about who would possibly link to this. You know, today it's difficult to get backlinks from some influencers, big websites, if you don't produce any useful content, or for example even unique content. Yep, you need to check it's valuable to them or not. If it's not valuable, you can't get these backlinks. And yeah, conceptualizing an idea. I always start this process by looking at what kinds of ideas are working well within my industry. Go through and use tools like BuzzSumo and find popular content with your industry or around a topic related to your business. Okay, step number 3, deciding on the format. Yeah, you need use different formats, text articles, infographics, video, audio. Yep. Okay, go ahead. Step number 4, make sure you're solving problem. Yeah, some examples here. And tip number 15, press request alerts. Press request requests are an absolute goldmine of earning high value links. A lot of people can be put off by them due to the amount of time it can take each day to go through them all, but they're probably not hacking the process like I do. Yep, interesting examples there, you can read them with steps, and even we see templates. Tip number 16, create an expert roundup. You know, people like when you save their time, because when you open roundup, you can see some reviews, your opinion, what type of service they need to have or open. You know, you have some list, and yeah, it saves their time. Help community, help people. And yep, if you have your own expert roundup, yeah, it saves time to your readers and it brings value. Okay, tip number 17, build your content on topic clusters. Oh, you know, it definitely needs to do it, because you need to understand how you make clusterization for your content, because you can't have the same content on many of your pages. Especially you need to pay attention title and descriptions. They need to be unique, and don't confuse Google which type of content they need to rank on their top 10. Okay, tip number 18, seeding promotion on big content. Okay, we can read this. One mistake that a lot of people make when they are planning for the launch a big piece of content is that they rely too heavily on the quality of the content, earning it coverage organically. I often align the launch of my content with a couple of guest posts on relevant websites to drive a lot of relevant traffic to it, as well as some relevant links. It's interesting. I understand the idea of this meaning. That means author before launching his own content, he creates some guest posts, and he launched all of them in one time, because he can get some traffic from guest posts and traffic from his own website, and it helps to promote his own content. Interesting. Okay, and tip number 19, get product reviews using influencer platforms. You know, it works a lot if you cooperate with some influencers, pay them money to promote your product, services, and you can give your product for free, and yeah, they can submit your some review to your products. Yeah, it definitely helps. Okay, I think it's enough for today. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Ask questions in the comment section. I will reply to all your questions. See you next time. Cheers!